Big shout to okjersey.com. Scan the QR code below and actually go to the link below to get affordable football shirts from all the European leagues, including the English clubs, all of them, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, City, Spurs, Chelsea, all of them, of course, are all there. You can get the current ones, past seasons, and also some absolute gems out there, vintage ones, and actually very affordable football shirts, high quality, like the one I'm wearing right here. It is very simple to get one. Let me show you how. You go to the website. It's very simple. You click on the Premier League, pick the club you want. For me, I picked Newcastle, for example. You go there, you will find all the current ones, training ones as well. You add whatever you want to the cart. Of course, check the sizes, add a patch, add to cart, but also never forget, as it says below, scan the QR code and put the code JUDGE in the checkout to get 8% discount. It's that easy. Just go to the website, check the football shirt you want. You will not regret it. Now, let's get back to our stream. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, people, and welcome to Footy Judgment. Welcome to Premier League Unfiltered, of course, on your Friday. Previewing the Premier League games, of course, Chelsea must win against, of course, Everton to avoid being dragged into an actual bigger problems in the top four. Spurs are actually finding their feet. Actually, you haven't lost in 3 games, actually. So it's two wins and 1 draw, if I'm not mistaken. And Thomas Frank is actually getting a little bit of confidence in this team with Xavi Simons doing well. Manchester United are on the same points with Chelsea, which is something that I think is actually crazy. If you ask anybody before the season that Man United are on the same points at Chelsea, you'll tell you're crazy. Arne Slot spoke about Mohamed Salah. We're going to get James Story's opinion on that. Mohamed Salah going to be integrated. But the bigger question is, will Isak finally step up for Liverpool? And can Arsenal go clear in the Premier League table right now if they win against Wolves, which is what we're expecting? Will City win against Crystal Palace? That is the biggest question. But we've got a fantastic and a great panel with you here with Sal, of course, from Straightforward Post. Of course, ripping Man United. Jim, also Spurs is here. Of course, Kwess from Kwess Knows Ball. It's his first time on the channel, so big up Kwess for being here. Honor to have you, pleasure to have you on the channel, my man. And of course, Neil. Mark can't make it, but Neil is here, repping Frenemies podcast, of course. Mark and Neil, of course, and Jamie's Story is going to be here repping Liverpool. Listen. Hit that like button, guys, if you guys are here. If you're watching this on the replay, support the channel. The algorithms are doing absolutely shit now for everyone. So the like button goes a long way. It helps the channel, it helps the videos go to new viewers. So hit that like button, people, and subscribe if you're new. We're on the way to 50K. So we're close. So close to 50K. Hopefully we can get it within the next month or so. How is everyone doing ahead of this weekend? Confident?
Yeah.
Very. Yeah.
I'm a
Neil
bit
is very
nervous.
confident. I think Jim is confident. They play Forest away from home, so they're going to win.
Yeah, confidence is a strong word, Mike. But I think, yeah. I'm. You know what it's like in football. You win. We were like 3 on the bounce. We played awfully, and I was thinking we're going to be bottom 5 here. It's just going to be terrible. And we won the last 2, and now I'm thinking top 4's not that far away, is it?
It's
Smell
not.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
3 points, bro. 3 points away from Chelsea. Awful Spurs are 3 points away from Chelsea. It's absolutely crazy, actually.
Jim, don't do it to yourself, buddy.
Oh,
Don't
mate,
do
I'm
it.
not going to
Guys, do we think there is a race between like Man United, Spurs, Chelsea? Do we think there is a race there? Or do you think Chelsea is ahead of them?
Nah.
This league is unpredictable. You don't know. It's December now, and look how close it is. Halfway through the season.
I think Chelsea are still ahead. Like, if someone
What are you?
offered me a
Okay,
tenner,
great.
I'd
What are you
bet
basing that on? What are you basing that on?
Like over the course of the season, I know Chelsea have had a difficult couple of weeks, but I think they've had more games where they've looked like a cohesive team than Spurs have. Spurs have taken just to now, and it's like, okay, we're still not quite sure. Did we look good because Slavia Prague haven't won a game in Europe for 17 matches? And did we beat Brentford because they were not very good? Or are we actually moving in the right direction? I think we're a couple of games away from knowing that. Whereas Chelsea, like, I think they've been more good than bad this season. They've shown a bit more consistency than Spurs. So I'm still not convinced we're ahead of them yet. But if we beat Forest on the weekend, I'll probably start to get a little bit cockier.
Yeah.
No one's mentioned Palace, by the way, in the race.
Brilliant.
No one's ruled out of it. 10 down to the top 10, in my opinion. Honestly, nobody.
I just think, at this point in the season, you have these teams, Bournemouths, Brightons, Palace. You sort of know in the back of your mind, come May, they sort of filter themselves out. The performances drop off. At least that's what I'm praying and hoping, because it could be different. I'm not gonna lie. That Palace squad is serious, man. So yeah, man.
Serious manager, serious organisation. I mean, Bournemouth started the season well and they've tapered off. Haven't won a game in 5 or 6, but I don't know. I'm not going to sleep. I don't think anyone's
something. I want to ask you guys something for real, okay? In terms of squads, Spurs squad is not that far from Chelsea squad. Is not that far from Chelsea squad. Names wise, it's not, right? Their centre backs are international. Their goalkeeper, I'll say Sanchez has been very good this season, to be honest. Pedro Porro, like I've mentioned that plenty of times. Is Enzo Maresca that much better than Thomas Frank?
I dispute the first part of your
Why?
I'm not saying Enzo Maresca is that much better, but I think if you look at the Chelsea squad and you look at the Spurs squad, I think there is a difference. I know we're saying yes, internationals, but internationals is it's a big word, isn't it? It can cover a wide range. Internationals. I prefer, and look, here's the equalizer. Chelsea are missing Levi Colwill all season. He's gone, and you look at their best.
But I'm counting
Colwill,
who's available
Fofana.
this season, Neil.
Okay, well,
that's a thing, Like I need to count who's available this season to actually compare this season, not last season, not the next season.
I think
if Romero's out for the rest of the season, I'm not counting him for Spurs. If Van der Ven is out, I'm not going to count him because he doesn't play. He's not involved.
We've missed Maddison, and we've missed our starting striker and 10 for the season as well.
Yeah, but at least Kulusevski's coming, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this month.
Same all season, yeah.
Wow.
Kulusevski's coming in December. That's what I'm reading, is Kulusevski is back in December. This is it.
But boys, don't you think Chelsea have got a better squad, better team?
Why? Are we just saying this because they won the Club World Cup? I'm serious.
Definitely not. I'm not. I don't base anything. You've seen me and Mark on our podcast. There's no credence to I don't give any credence to the Club World Cup, in my opinion. It's pre-season. That's just my opinion. Well, what I will say is that, okay, Sanchez is having a better season for sure. Reece James and Cucurella, top 3 right back and left back in the league. easily. I think I'd say.
No, but
Probably
hold on.
top
But
two.
again, can we go back? We'll go back a little bit. But Reece James doesn't play right back. I will.
I know.
I keep telling Chelsea fans this. I will give it to Chelsea fans. If Reece James is consistent at right back, I'll give it to them. He doesn't. Enzo Maresca, and it's, by the way, it's not our fault. It's not Kwess's fault that Enzo Maresca is choosing, unforced, to play the guy in the midfield. It's not like it's nobody's fault. Like, with all due respect, in the last 2 games, it was Fofana. Sorry, it was right back Chalobah once, and then last game was like Achimpong. That's a choice. You chose that.
But part of that is is because Lavia's out. So if Lavia was fit, Lavia would be the deputy to
Who's Lavia?
Caicedo.
Who's Lavia?
I like that. So yeah.
Lavia.
So he would be playing.
Lavia,
And
Lavia.
unfortunately, earlier in the season, we lost Usogo as well. So
Is that a
that's
new signing? It's coming in January.
No. Come on, Mo. You know.
He will be back
Lavia's
in
not
Jan,
involved.
apparently. He'll be back for a couple of games before. He
Well,
gets
I
injured.
hope so. I mean, I've kind of lost hope with him. I think he's one that we've got to start thinking about moving on now.
You know
Because
what?
you
We
can't
all
risk-
keep forgetting that we give Chelsea like a pass about, okay, they're gonna get top 5. Okay, we just give Chelsea that they're gonna get top 5, right? But in the same time, we're forgetting that Liverpool are, what are you, 2 points behind Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
2 points. Aston Villa are doing good. So basically, there is not a lot of spots. Man United are there in same points at Chelsea without European football, right? Nothing in the midweek to play for in the. At Chelsea, if they don't get top 8, they have extra 2 games. Spurs, they have Champions League. Are they going to qualify? Yes. But we're just discounting teams like this. Oh, Spurs are not going to get top 5. Man United are not going to get top 5. Like, I'm fearful. I think that Chelsea should get top 5, right? But in the next 5 games, there's a tough run, and you can get dragged down the table. You can be like 8th, 7th.
I think for sure, but I would probably expect more so that Liverpool would come up. Spurs are going to come up and be around top 5, top 6. Newcastle will be around top 5, top 6. But your Sunderlands, Brightons, Evertons, they're not going to be there come end of the season.
I agree with this.
They would have to be doing something very special to maintain that kind of form throughout the season. Now, of course, if buts and maybes, anything can happen, yes. But I would predict that these teams would fall off. I'd also probably say, I would probably look at Villa to slip up as well. I mean, so far, since Emery's been there, every season they've been pushing into that last month and a half, and then they seem to sort of mentality-wise go. Now, if it's different this year, kudos to them. Fair play, right? But I would probably suggest that, Palace, Villa, Brighton, Everton, Sunderland, they're going to fall away. I predicted Man United to be 5th this season, and I predicted Spurs, I think, to be, 7th. So I think I had it as City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, United, Newcastle, Spurs, and I think that's generally how it will finish. But it'll be interesting to see, regardless, because you're right. Like, a lot of these teams are actually stepping up a lot this season. So,
bro, that's
it'll be
a
good
great
team.
point.
Well, I just changed the
point.
title because it was just announced that Mohamed Salah will be involved in the squad tomorrow for Liverpool.
Yeah, I've seen that.
By the way, I don't think that makes any difference for Liverpool, to be honest with you guys. He's leaving after this game.
In the squad on the bench.
He's going to be on. He's not starting. We know he's not starting.
Well, he might start up. He might start in the front 2 if they go with that, the same as again did to Bland. Like, you're definitely playing a 2 with Ekatike and then have the 4-man midfield. That could be an option, and some Liverpool fans have been looking at as an option because he did play it. I think it was 21.
We'll come to that. We'll come to the Mohamed Salah thing. I just wanted to finish that Chelsea and Spurs and United thing. My problem with this conversation now is that people like I don't know if you guys saw the Matisse versus Don yesterday on the other side of the coin podcast, where they were talking about, are Chelsea fans like overrating their players to the point that actually rivals started actually thinking that they are better than what they actually are? Are people getting fooled by the Chelsea squad? Are they not as good as what they think? Because part of being good is consistency. Enzo Fernandez in the last 3 games has been not good, right? Part part of you being good is you being able to play the games. Currently, Reece James is not going to be able to play 2 games a week, right? And Chelsea don't have someone with the same quality, like, which is the difference between the likes of Liverpool when they have Ekitike and Isak. On paper, kind of similar quality. The midfield of Liverpool, with Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai, McAllister, they have the quality to, change that guy for this game, change this guy. You take Enzo Fernandez or you take Reece James out of that team, and the team kind of looks completely different.
Yeah, like I think it's that all of us fans, we probably all overrate our own players a bit. Like you never hear Spurs fans stop talking about Romero and Van de Ven. We love them and we think they're absolutely world class, but equally they were in a defense. They didn't play a lot last season, but equally they've been in sides that have had poor defensive records, right? And at the same time, we're telling you they're the best in the league. But I generally think they are very good players, but probably just not to the level we say they are. But I think they are. It's fair to say there's a good argument to say they would start for Chelsea, and some Chelsea fans have a good argument to say they wouldn't. But they're very comparable, regardless of what team you support. It would come out quite equal if you asked all the fan base to vote.
In my opinion, Jim, I agree with you. Once we say the word, I'm not sure if we spoke about this on the Rational League with Jamie and the guys. Once you say the word on his day, you're discounting consistency, because anyone on his day can be good.
Yeah.
Anyone on his day. This is what is the difference between the Mohamed Salah and Semenyo. You know what I mean? Mohamed Salah will always be consistent. Has always been 8 years consistent. Romero and Van de Ven, on their day, nobody can get past them. The top defenders on their day. How many times you get that a season? It takes one time. They're not on their day. You're losing 3 points. Right? That's the difference between a Declan Rice, for example, and an Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez technically might be better than Declan Rice. He might be. Passing wise, technically might be better. But would you take Declan Rice or would you take Enzo Fernandez? I'll take Declan Rice because I know I'm getting an 8 out of 10, an 8.5 out of 10 most games, 90 minutes, right? Enzo Fernandez might give me a 10 out of 10 games, and then for a game or two, he might drop to a 6 or 7 or get a stinker. I wouldn't want that in my team. And that is the difference between the squads, right?
Ask him, Mo. Ask him. Bro, you taking Enzo? You were looking when he said you'd take Declan over Enzo. You weren't too sure.
Come on,
we're
not going to do that.
Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I probably would, take Declan Rice in my team, but I'm only saying that because I remember this guy being a centre-back in Chelsea's academy. So there's a double affinity there for me, and also because I've watched him then go on to be a consistently 8 out of 10 performer. So I rate it. Does that mean I think Enzo Fernandez is bad? No. Because I think the other thing you have to do with Enzo Fernandez is you have to apply context. The context is this is what, 3rd manager, 4th manager? Maybe it's 3rd, I think. He worked under Potter, then Poch, then Maresca. He's in a team which is in a phase that is still rebuilding, whether that's right or wrong. And I know that that's the big argument right now. How can Chelsea be after 2 building it? Well, that's still the reality. So for me, to see him in his 2nd season of a settled midfield, having inconsistent performances when he's just come off the back of a season where he was playing, I think, with, he had a long-term groin injury or something like that, the whole Poch season, and finally got it fixed at the end, ready for that midway through the first Maresca season. I'm going, I kind of understand why he's not at his best right now. I don't think he's bad. I probably would also say though, even from last season, I thought if Madrid say 100 mil, I'd let him go.
Okay, that's the question. Now it's reported that Enzo Fernandez is actually being linked to Real Madrid.
Yeah, he was linked. He was linked when we first signed him. But I would have.
Number one, if you get 100 million for Enzo Fernandez, you're literally scammed Real Madrid.
But I don't think that's.
They bought him for 106.
Yeah, we bought him for.
I'm going to tell you. Yeah, but
I
Jamie,
don't think
I'm not saying how much you paid for the guy. You know what I mean? That's not my point. How much you paid? How much do you think he's worth? Nobody here can tell me that Enzo Fernandez today is worth 100 million.
85.
Yeah, we didn't think he was worth 106 when they bought him either.
Yeah,
exactly that, right? He wasn't worth that.
Yeah.
But if Real Madrid paid 85, you'd be like...
How much did Arsenal pay for Declan Rice? Was it 80?
105.
105.
Yeah.
I don't think he's overrated though. I don't think he's overrated because I don't think you would have him in a conversation with Rice. I think Casado's better as well. I think he's maybe just one step below that. I think most people would agree with that. You're not comparing Rice to Casado, or sorry, Rice to Enzo most times. You know what I mean? You're saying he's
You do. I did last season. I still think that last season Enzo Fernandez had a better season than Declan Rice in the Premier League.
He did.
I think Enzo's also 3 years younger, man. It doesn't seem like a lot, but in terms of Premier League experience, when did Declan Rice start playing first team football for West Ham? Was it 22, 21? Like this guy's he's got a lot of experience, man. Like there are other players that haven't been able to kick on and do what he's done. So I give full credit to Declan Rice, man. I actually think it's kind of weird that he's gone to Arsenal and been their best player, because I feel like it's a little bit unfair to him. I feel like he actually deserved to go to a place where there would be even better players around him so that he can just do what he does and fade in the background and get the love that he actually deserves. I don't even think he should be in these conversations. So I think it's a little bit, I know that's a bit of a weird take, but I generally do. I look at him and go, like, I said this to my friend, right, when he moved to Arsenal. I said, it's really weird to say, but it almost feels like a bit of a sideways move. Not in terms of what he could win, but in terms of what he will be for the team.
What?
Yeah, because he will. Here's
Right,
what I mean. Let me land this plane. I know it's crazy right now. All the lights are going off on the dash. Right? What I mean is West Ham. He was already on the ascendancy to captaincy. He was already going to be like top 2 best players in the team. You were never going to add better players because it's West Ham. So for me, I was looking at it like Declan Rice's direction should be a Real Madrid where you're going to play with pure Galacticos. It's like an argument for everybody in any other position in your team is better than you. Because I think that would help elevate Rice even further. Whereas right now, what I think I'm seeing for Declan Rice, and what I meant back then when I said this to my friend, was that I think because he will end up being the best player, it will not allow him to thrive at what I think he could be at. Like I've said this before in the summer, if Arsenal were to go and win like a Premier League and a Champions League, which I think is really difficult for them to do, I think Declan Rice is almost a shoo-in for the Ballon d'Or. But I just think it's much tougher because when I look at the squad he's in right now, I still don't think he's surrounded by world-class players.
I'm going to tell you something, by the way. I actually think that the Arsenal team is better than the Real Madrid team.
No, but you wouldn't take Gyökeres over Mbappe.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't take Martinelli over Vinicius. I'm not saying Arsenal don't have a better squad, by the way.
And that's it.
Please.
Stop here. That's it.
I think Arsenal have the better balance.
Hold on. That's it.
It's a different culture, though. I understand your point you're trying to get at. I understand the point you're trying to get at. It's a different culture. Do you know what I mean? It's like Galacticos superstars. It's like that level. But I think
Real Madrid is whack. What?
By the way, the internet's
City didn't even get out of second gear and they slapped him. This could have been City could have won the game back 4-1 if Haaland just focused on scoring and instead of like Rudiger tried to like hit him or something like this. What are we talking? Arsenal, in my opinion, I think Arsenal is I think it's very toxic at Real Madrid. And I'm telling you, if Declan Rice was to go to Real Madrid, he wouldn't have got the same PR. He wouldn't have got the same appreciation that he gets at Arsenal in the Premier League from the English press. And that we played against him. Bellingham is a bigger superstar than him there. Mbappe and Vinny, even though Vinny is whack as well, like we're seeing the real Vinny now that Benzema spoke about. We're seeing him. They want him out. And I hope that they sell him so he will get exposed. He's going to go to Saudi or something. That's his level, basically, currently, right?
But Mo, you're looking at a moment in time. Like if Declan Rice had moved to Arsenal the year he moved to Real Madrid, the year he moved to Arsenal, he probably would have won a Champions League with Bellingham.
He might not have started. That year.
No, but what the point? Sorry, I don't know your name.
Kwess.
The point you're trying to make, I understand what you're trying to say in terms of the level of players that he's playing with in that moment would probably be like, might take him to another level in terms of dimension. Yeah,
I don't think it would. It went back, Jimmy, it went backwards for the likes of Camavinga and Chouameni, Valverde. It's going backwards for them, guys. If you guys looking at the trajectory of some of the Real Madrid players, it's going backwards, right?
Is that not since Mbappe joined? Is that not since Mbappe joined?
Which was eventually going to happen, right? Like eventually was going to happen. Like Declan Rice joined Arsenal 2 seasons ago. In their first season, Real Madrid, if I'm not mistaken, did they win the Champions League or what was that? Man City? No, it was Real Madrid, right? I don't think that he would have played. It was still Toni Kroos, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Was still Modric was there? I don't think he would have played. At that time, there was Valverde, there was Toni Kroos, there was Modric. They still pillars of that team. And I think the year after, it would have been the Mbappe, Vinny problems that happened when they got slapped by Arsenal 5, basically. And he would have went backwards. I think Arsenal...
Technically, Declan Rice would have scored those free kicks, so they wouldn't have slapped them in the same way.
They wouldn't have had the free kicks.
So technically, Real Madrid would have got those free kicks, and they would have won.
I think he made the right choice by joining Arsenal. The only thing that I think he might have been better, I think if he chose Manchester City at that time, depending on where Pep wanted to play him. Because remember, when he joined, he would have been the 8 for City as well. Rodri was going to be the 6, and he would have been the 8. And definitely, he would have been coached under Pep Guardiola, which is better. Maybe that City. However, in hindsight, him joining Arsenal, especially if they win the League of the Champions League, which is, I think they might win one this season. I think that's it for him. That the development is up there because he's prime age. He's 25. This is it for midfielders. You go up from here. If your team win, you go up. 25 years old. You go up.
So Mo, can I ask you this question? Yeah, I've just seen someone put in the chat. They said if he chose City, it'd be a wrap for the league for the next decade. That kind of confidence is exactly why I said what I said. That's why I don't get do you not think even with Madrid now, like my guy said, right? It's almost like recency bias. Like we haven't seen them absolutely rip up Europe. Right now, it looks dark because Xabi Alonso's struggling. Mbappe's come in and they've had to change the whole system. Do you not think things? You know what? There's no point doing shoulda, coulda, wouldas. But I'm just saying, maybe at that time, it could have been very, very different. Because look at the kind of confidence people think it would have given a City or it would have given a Real Madrid if he'd have joined them because of the setup.
Can I tell you the difference? Okay, so let me. I want to everyone. I want Neil to speak about this. I'm just gonna say something. Historically, there is no midfielder that came to Pep Guardiola and actually succeeded in his first season in Man City. Not one. There is not one midfielder that came. We're watching Reinders. We're watching Rodri. We're like Fernandinho. Nico Gonzalez. There is no midfielder that can actually get integrated in Pep's system in the middle, that complex system from his first season. Every single one of them took a bit of time. And Declan Rice, and I'm going to tell you the difference, because of the price and the English media, Declan Rice would have been slaughtered in the media daily if he doesn't play well for Man City. He would not, nobody would have been patient about him. Bro, if in the first season, Declan Rice, I think he won 8 man of the match in his first 15 games as a DM.
Top, yeah.
And people were still talking about him negatively. Still.
Yeah.
Like this is how much, if you're 100 million, this is what you get in the media. And
I think you can't, but Real Madrid, whatever their short-term situation, they're the only club in the world that could turn the head of the vast majority of players of big 6 clubs. Like it doesn't matter if they're 4th in the league in their La Liga and they're struggling, they could turn the heads of most Liverpool players. And like no other club in the world could do that. Like not even Liverpool can turn the heads of almost any other club in the world except for Real Madrid. And so, yeah, there'll be the odd outlier out there. I'm just thinking Liverpool because they're the biggest club in the world outside of Real Madrid, you know, and that kind of anomaly. I just feel like you can, if you don't succeed at Real Madrid, you could still get a big move to Arsenal. If you don't succeed at Arsenal, you're not going to get a move to Real Madrid. So I can see the argument for at that snapshot in time, if you could have warranted a move from Real Madrid and it was open to you, why didn't you consider it? But in hindsight, he's made completely the right move going to Arsenal.
Yeah, 100%.
He's 100% made the right move going to Arsenal. That's kind of
yeah, that's
also just from that, Jim. United are bigger than Liverpool. Did you say Liverpool the biggest club outside of Real Madrid? Sal, you taking that?
It's fine,
dead
man.
right.
It's fine. You know, I just want to be
right.
below.
More trophies, the same amount of leagues. double the amount of Champions Leagues. It's not
Hey,
even a
hey.
question.
It's tight.
I don't
It's
think- I
timing,
don't
isn't
think-
it?
listen, I'm gonna be
Just
honest,
because
guys,
those
I think it's
dinosaurs
really-
won a few leagues 20 years
That
ago
wasn't
doesn't
even-
make them bigger.
That wasn't even a
It's
dig
ti-
at Man United.
It's timing,
They're
though,
enormous.
isn't it, Jamie?
But
Yeah,
it's
look, I'm going to
recently,
be honest.
isn't it?
I'm going to be honest, guys. You know, with Man United, I'm not in any delusional land at the moment. You know, at the beginning of the season, if someone had to choose between Liverpool and Man United, they would choose Liverpool. It's obvious because of the Champions League, and that's what it is at the end of the day. Man United are a project at the moment. You know, we're nowhere near where we want to be. You know, it's not all doom and gloom, though, according to some of our
in
fans.
a better place than what you should be. You're equal to world champions Chelsea. In the same
You're above,
points.
you're above Liverpool, aren't you?
Champions elect, well, champions elect. There you go.
Yeah.
You're in with the same point. By the way, this Man United thing is up and down. But if people
Mo-
want Amorim sacked, he's not getting sacked. He's not.
Mo,
He is
Mo, you know what? If I woke
in the
up from
Premier
some
League,
kind of,
he ain't getting sacked.
he ain't getting sacked. If I woke up from some kind of cocoon, right, and I looked at the social media,
He ain't getting sacked. He ain't.
he ain't getting sacked. Good. You know,
Like
if I woke
Saeed
up
can
from some
fight
sort of hiding-
everyone in the world. You know what I mean? He's not leaving the club, bro. He's not. He's not leaving the club.
Listen. If I told, listen, Mo, look, if I woke up from some kind of hiding, right, and I looked at the social media after the Wolves game, I would have thought we lost the game. The way people were acting is atrocious, man. You know what, Mo? You said it the other month. You said that some Man United fans are entitled, and looking at it,
You are
yeah.
entitled.
Well, looking at the social media, I was like, wow, come on. We're 1 point from fourth place, right? We've got the third highest scorers in the Premier League. So that's improved as well. Big chances we're first. You know, we're improving all over the shop, but we have a section of our fans are just really self-entitled, maniacs, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, look, Man United are in absolute disarray. We're a derelict building full of asbestos. That's what Man United are, basically. And people are expecting overnight success, quick success. Mate, it's ridiculous. But at the moment, I know where Man United are. And I know how long it's going to take for Man United to get there. And as I said at the beginning of the season, if we come in the top 5, that's good for me, and we're getting that Champions League. That's the most important thing.
I want to come to Man United in a bit. Just Fonzie here is saying, big up Mo on the panel. It's wonderful to see you have decided to skip out dinner at the senior homes to host this brilliant. But a big up Fonzie. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you, Habibi. This joke didn't bang as much, Fonzie. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Banger joke.
Bro, it's not dinner time here in America. You're from Canada, so you would know that it's afternoon here. It's 12 in the afternoon, so it's not dinner time yet. It's lunchtime, not dinner time yet. I want to just go back to the Spurs-Chelsea conversation a little bit before we go to Liverpool, because if I'm looking at Spurs, will Thomas Frank stay at the club, and is he long-term future at the club? Should Spurs be keeping Thomas Frank at the club?
He's a manager where I don't think anyone bigger is going to come along and try and take him, are they? So you know, there's a good and a bad side to that. It's a bit like Spurs have invested in a long-term approach, like other clubs we're seeing now, like Maresca as well. Like his CV before Chelsea, what a step up it is to go to a club like Chelsea after Leicester. It's absolutely enormous. Arteta, you know, he's worked with Pep.
Who do you think is under more pressure, Jim? Who do you think is under more pressure, Thomas Frank or Maresca?
I think Thomas Frank was up until last weekend, and now it's pretty equal, I'd say. But if Frank loses against Forest, suddenly I'd say he's one of the top 3 most likely managers to get sacked in the league again. If he wins against Forest, all the conversations have gone because he's unbeaten in 5. It's just so like on a knife edge and wobbly of Frank. What he doesn't have is a reputation and history and track record for a club to be like, you know, we're really going to bide our time now with this guy. Having said that, I don't think Spurs would get rid of him even if he finished 10th this season. I think the only way Spurs get rid of him this season is if they find themselves in a relegation battle, which isn't going to happen. So what would happen if Spurs came, just say 12th to 15th? I think they'd hold on to him for the season and then make a change. But I don't think he's at risk this season. Things seem to be turning in the right direction. And I've always said a good, consistent recruitment and a balanced squad underpins any manager's chances. If you give any manager of the people on this panel today, if you give any of those managers the right squad, they will be in the top 4. They can get those teams into the top 4. Not all of them can get them to a title, but I think all of those will get them into the top 4. And only a couple of them can rotate into a title. Having said that, though, I'm thinking aloud now. You know, look how much slots image and kind of aura has changed over the last 3 or 4 months. If you took him as a snapshot this season alone, I'd be going, that guy can never win a trophy at Liverpool, but he's already done it, so of course he can. So I think it just go back to, and I did
winning changes everything. Like your perception of everything just changed after win. Like he won 2-0 last weekend, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we're playing good football." Xavi Simons gets his first goal, and you're like, "Woo, this is great." Do you know what I mean? The same with Chelsea. I keep on saying this about Chelsea. Like they lost to Sunderland, everyone was like they're in a crisis. Then they draw to Arsenal, and they're like everyone's in a tight race. Now they have a few bad runs. They're in a crisis. Maresca's going to get sacked. It's just like it's flip flop with like every team other than Arsenal and Man City. Like just because of the way results are going to go, and all of our teams are inconsistent in terms of performances right now. So like if they get a win, it's like, oh yeah, okay, we give them another week. If they lose, sack them. Just the way.
So how do you think we should? Okay, for example, how do you think we should analyze a team like Chelsea or Spurs? In my opinion, Spurs, their underlying metrics are horrific. By the way, like expected goals are like 18th in the league, big chances are like 16 or like 14s or something like this. Underlying metrics, they're terrible. Chelsea, on the other hand, it's kind of the opposite. Their underlying metrics are better, actually, than what we see in front of us. It's I don't know how to like which manager be under more scrutiny. In my opinion, Maresca, because
it's his second season, isn't it? Though, Mo? So it's in my eyes. The first year you get almost as a pass, unless it's absolutely diabolical. In most clubs now, unless it's a club so big like Real Madrid, they just don't do that thing. But I think Maresca pretty much gets a pass in his first season, and Frank gets one this season. But if we were in Chelsea's situation and, we were 8th midway through the season, in his second season, I think his job would be at threat. But in his first season, his job's completely safe in that situation. That's my view.
I think Maresca's job should be under threat, in my opinion. Same as Arne Slot, by the way. It's the same.
Really? I agree with
100%. And we're going to come to Liverpool. You're going to come to Liverpool. I genuinely believe that managers at top clubs, that the job should be under threat. Maresca shouldn't be given a free pass. I genuinely believe that. There is no manager who should be given a free pass if you go down. If Maresca is comfortable in top 4, pass. Fine. Great. Once you get dragged into the conversation of like Man United can be above you, Everton can be above you, Crystal Palace. And I did plenty of times. Actually, hello, how are you? I don't think he can hear.
He's got the lightsabers. He wants to have a battle. And hit my wife in the face with the sounds of it.
Big up everyone that joined us, guys. Can we get the likes up a little bit, guys? We don't have enough likes on the stream. Big up everyone that joined us from the Football Terrace. Hit the like button. Let's get to 200 likes live, guys. It helps the channel massively. I'm going to tell you, and maybe, Jamie, you kind of did the... I think in this league, you should be judged based on who above you on the table, not where you are.
But it's so like... It's so up and down. You like other than Arsenal, Man City, even Man City, like they've been like struggled a little bit at the start of the season. Like if you judge it on the basis of such a small sample size consistently, you're going to say sack your manager every second week because other teams are jumping up and down.
I'm not saying today, Jamie. I'm not saying today. I'm not saying today he gets sacked because Aston Villa are ahead of him, and then tomorrow he's safe. I'm saying you can have a sample size, and for example, if Man United finish ahead of Chelsea, I think Maresca should be under threat. Just by that logic. That's it.
At the end of the season?
100%.
At the end of the season. Even if Chelsea, for example, even if Chelsea finish 5th, right? And Man United finish 4th, I believe because of where Amorim is and because of how Man United are and the shambles and where they finished last season, that shows me that Maresca should have been finishing higher. It's as simple as that.
But then he'd have to... I think that'd be unfair though, because then he'd have to finish... If last year we came 4th, you're asking him to finish above Liverpool, who've just spent 400 mil and won the league. You're asking him to finish above Arsenal, who...
No, I didn't say that.
No, but if what I'm saying is... but even, okay, so let's say we finished 5th and Man United finished 4th.
Yeah.
If we were to finish 4th, the other 3 teams above us would still be...
Liverpool, City and Arsenal, which is I'm still expecting Liverpool,
crazy.
City and Arsenal to be there. I'm still expecting Liverpool, City and Arsenal to be up there.
The only reason I think that would be nuts, right, is because, and I actually do think like Chelsea and Man United specifically are suffering from being successes in a time where social media wasn't a big deal. So now we look like we're in the mud. There's a lot more chatter and it adds to the noise. This wouldn't be the same for all of these teams 10, 15 years ago. because people wouldn't be talking that much about it. It would just be, you just watch match of the day and you move on, right? The pundits might say something, but that'll be it. Now you got this situation where, like we're saying, every third game, there's a shift in the table, and all of a sudden we're scrutinizing and saying, this guy needs to be looked at, this guy needs, why?
So answer me straight then. So answer me straight. How would you analyze Chelsea this season? Now we got played 15 games and 5 games in the Champions, guys, or 6 games. How would you think Maresca has gone this season?
I think he's done exactly what he can do with what he has. If he was doing any better, I would think everybody would think Chelsea are overachieving and the conversation would start again. Chelsea can't really compete for a title, can they? Because they're over. But it would change again.
Oh my God.
Do you not think the conversation would just change? Because I feel like what I'm seeing is we get close. Chelsea can't do it. Their squad's not good enough. But then when we are, but they should because of. So it's never going to be.
You analyze the 22 games you played this season, 6 and 15 and 1 in the cup, and you think you have done what you're supposed to be doing now.
Yeah, I've predicted us 4 from the start of the season. Okay. So I know there's fatigue in the squad. 2 of our best players have been out since the start of the season. Maresca, while he has experience, is a wildly unexperienced manager in terms of what he's actually had to come up against. You've gone from the Championship to the Premier League. And then you're talking about a club model where they've literally handicapped the manager by saying we will only buy certain players within a certain wage bracket. So like earlier today, I'm watching LB and Terry go off about why Chelsea didn't sign Osimhen, why they didn't sign this, why they didn't sign... Because the club will refuse to. Unless you earn within a certain wage, they're not going to buy you. So there, I would say, yes, look, you could criticize Maresca more. And I would criticize him more if we had Osimhen, if we had Donnarumma, if we had Maignan. Of course, I'd be like, I expect more. But let's be honest, every single one on this panel, person sitting here would go, really, when you look at the squad, do you expect Chelsea to be much higher than 4th or at best 3rd? Nobody.
Yeah, I expect it to be higher. I'll tell you why I expect it to be higher. Of the top 4 last season, Chelsea have had by far the easiest start. If we're talking about the 15 games in the Premier League, you've had the nicest start. You've still got to go away to St. James's Park, Emirates, Etihad, and play City at home, Anfield. You've got some horrible... You've actually had... The first few games you had, I was like, right, okay, first 6 games, Chelsea... should be minimum 12 points, 12, 13 points. And now you're going to hit a horrible run. So as a Chelsea, you're a Chelsea fan. Are you worried? Because if you're saying we are where we're supposed to be, but you're entering a really, really tough run, you're 5th, aren't you? You're behind Palace, I think, just about.
Yeah, but
that's not Chelsea's issue, though. That's not Chelsea's issue, though. They play their best football against the bigger teams, the teams that are difficult to play against. It's the weaker teams that they struggle against.
So are they going to go to St. James's Park and get the win?
They could go to St. James's Park 100% to get the win. Yeah, 100%. I think that against Leeds, obviously Sunderland, like those are the games where they struggle, where they're expected to break a team down. I think when they go toe to toe,
that is the league.
I know.
You're talking about 3 teams. You're talking about Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal. From what I can tell,
Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City. You're talking about Newcastle, Villa away would be a tough game. Man United away, they lost that game. But like what I'm saying is that I think like saying they have tough places to go 100%, but I think what you'll actually notice is they'll put it up to those teams and they'll drop points in other games that probably
that's what I'm saying to you. They show up in the big games, right, against the big teams. But really, who are the big games? Who are the big teams? Because are we saying Newcastle and Villa now are? Because I'd say we're looking at Liverpool, City, Arsenal. Look, Chelsea, we saw a couple of weeks ago against Arsenal. They were immense, weren't they? I mean, that was their cup final. Let's be honest. They've fallen off a cliff since then.
But you're talking about Liverpool, Man City, and
they were incredible.
But Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal in terms of home and away, they'll be difficult. But like, I think even Villa away, Newcastle away, Crystal Palace away, Sunderland away, we're seeing this year. Like, they're all difficult games. There's a lot of difficult games. What I'm saying is that
I agree.
The higher teams. Like that, where they're like really difficult, and Chelsea know it's going to be difficult. That's where I think they perform. It's the games against the weaker teams that they seem to struggle, and those are the question marks I'll be looking at rather than the bigger games.
Do you think that's because of Maresca's, whole like philosophy? It's still that front foot football, rock and roll stuff, and that's great. It works, but when you come up against these managers that are really now well versed in the mid-table, to basically having to set up their whole philosophy around stopping that happening, they just know how to handle it, and they know that if you sit deep and you're good on the counter and you can block out the midfield, there's nothing Chelsea, there's not a inverted commas plan B there than to stop you. If you get a goal from a corner in the first 30 minutes, they're going to just have to throw everything at you, all gun ho, and they're going to leave loads of space. And Maresca needs to kind of, and maybe he will. Chelsea invested in Maresca though, knowing he isn't the complete finished article today. So
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if they just bailed on him. I think they're going to say, Bowley did want a project manager. He doesn't seem to stick with them, but I think this time he will, and he'll go, you've got 3 years, even if you come 5th or 6th, I can't see them getting rid of him. But he does have to start showing that he can win those games against the lesser inverted commas side, I think, if they're going to get confidence he's capable of winning them a title, which must be their, medium-term goal for Chelsea.
I would think so, yeah.
Stands there.
And I would think the club have to back it as well. You can't ask a manager to do what he's doing with a depleted squad, as well as a squad that you've signed most of the players to be prospects for. That doesn't mean I don't think they're good, but if you sign if the majority of your signings are prospects, then what you're saying is you hope that it will come good in the future. So that's why I always say, for me, within the next 2 to 3 years, we will be in that title race. There's no way we can be ready now. Maresca's not even ready now because he's not even finished making the majority of the mistakes he's going to make in order for him to learn how to get out of these situations. I mean, like, I'm in the Midlands. I got a lot of Leicester fan friends, and they all told me the same thing. Maresca's not got a plan B, right? So he's very pragmatic in his approach. He's always going to make sure he's trying to put his team in full control of the game. But the problem is, every other team is going, well, fine, but you're going to have to earn that right to do that. So he goes to places, and then what he actually does, which I think this is his biggest issue, is he kind of forgets that was his approach, and then he reacts to what he thinks the teams are going to do. And that's why I've said it since the start of Maresca's tenure, right? You will see much better second halves from Maresca than you will first halves. His first halves will be boring. They will be slow. They will be unexciting. The football will look like, most games will look like Chelsea don't know how to play football. And because our XG will be half decent, we'll probably be like 1.5-ish, 1.8 every game in that first half. If we don't score, it then puts us immediately on the back foot. So that's actually the big issue we're working through right now, which is further exasperated by the fact that the club are not signing ready-made players. They're signing prospective players.
If this continues, this is going to continue.
Yeah, but I don't think it can continue, because I think the club themselves, like the owners, they will be frustrated with their approach at some point, and they will go there. They will have in the back of their minds, part of the plan is there's a certain time when we flip the switch and we start bringing in those players. It just isn't now. And I understand why it isn't now, because what they're also trying to do is create a model that's sustainable. Can they have 1 or 2 players every season that they can sell for high value in order to replenish the squad? Because you also have to do that. You can't just go out and buy all these 27, 28-year-olds that everybody's recommending, and then in 4 years, everybody's 32.
I get it. You know what the problem with Chelsea is? Because I want to. You know what the problem is? A Chelsea model now is a mix between Brighton and Arsenal. Have anyone noticed that? It's a mix between prospect. I remember 3 years ago, Arsenal fans used to say the exact same. We have the youngest squad in the league. You have the youngest squad. We have the future. The future is coming our way. Exact same shit. Arteta's learning on the job. He's going to get better. Blah, blah, blah. But the difference is Arsenal went and bought Declan Rice. Arsenal buy players that are ready to play today, while Chelsea doing the Brighton thing. Let's buy all of these guys. Hopefully that someone will bang.
Yeah. I would caveat though, like Neil, you might be able to tell me this is absolute rubbish, but my perception of Arsenal's build to where they are was phase 1 was doing a bit what Chelsea does. You flush out all the players on bigger salaries that are kind of approaching the end, and that takes a couple of seasons. Then level 2 was like, let's just get a decent player in every position who's kind of young and got some kind of ceiling. And then level 3 was, oh wait, every player, there's a good player in every position. Now let's find an elite player over here and just put most of our budget into that and start to kind of layer them on top. But it took you 3 or 4 years to get to a point where you could really blow your budget. Blowing's the wrong word because it was well spent, but spend it heavily on 1 or 2 rather than needing to spread it across 4 or 5 like Chelsea were doing.
You're bang on. You're bang on in terms of how you laid that out. The question is, most question stands like, are you actually going to do it? Are Chelsea actually going to get to that level 3, break their structure? Because we've got constraints as well, but they're not like Chelsea's at the moment. They won't sign anyone over, whatever it is, 15 years old or whatever silly stage like structure they've got at the moment. So are they going to break that? Because that's going to be the difference. Otherwise, they'll just or are Clear Lake and Bowley, are they going to be happy with what they're doing? Because they do great business. They buy and they sell, and typically they make a profit. Maybe that's good enough. As long as Maresca gets them in top 4, who knows?
Yeah. Let me do this because I want to go to Salah with Jamie as well. One stat you guys have got wrong. One stat you've got wrong are Chelsea are good in bigger teams. In reality, Chelsea are good against bigger teams at home. Away, they have lost at the Emirates, Villa Park, Anfield, Etihad, St. James Park, and Old Trafford. I went and checked actually Chelsea's record against big teams because I'm with Jamie. Jamie is spot on. St. James's Park away from home is a big game. You go to Crystal Palace is a big game now because it's a tough game to play. You go to Bournemouth is a big game. It's a tough team
do
to
Chelsea
play away
see
from
it as a
home.
big game? Do Chelsea see it as a big game? Because apparently they only show up for big games.
I think it'll be the media around it will be a big game.
Probably. I'm not sure. Like, listen, I'm gonna tell you something, Kwess. If you lose to Everton, I think massive questions will be starting to happen because that would be 5 games without a win, and it will be a repeat of last season's dip in form in the middle of the season.
I won't panic. I'll tell you that. I don't think there's any point in panicking. You're going to Everton. No, they're coming to us. They're coming to us. They're coming to us, where they're on a better run of form than we are. Their confidence is high. Our confidence is low. If we drop points, I won't be surprised. I'm not going to panic. I won't panic because what's the point panicking? What is the point panicking? Okay, you have a bad run of 5-6 games, and then what if we go on a run of games 6-7 without? Like exactly 6-7. That's what it'll be. That's what it'll be. And I'm going, what's the point? Everybody in their heart believes Chelsea are not in the title race. We know we're not in the title race. So what are we aiming for?
You were supposed to be in the title race.
No, we would never.
You said that. I'll get you the clips from the Football Terrace.
No, I never said we're in the title race. Those words have never left my mind.
After the 1-1 win against Arsenal, you guys thought that you can actually like the 1-1 win against Arsenal.
You were in a title race for 24 hours.
After that 1-1 win, you guys know. Do you know I'm not changing my stance, right? It's before August. I swear to God, on this channel, on the Football Terrace, on Usame's channel, on all the channels I go to, Jamie will attest to this. I said, this season's progress for Chelsea, 0 pressure to win the league, but you should be within single digits of top of the league, whoever is going to win the league. What? With Marsh?
Yeah, well, I disagreed with that, Mal.
What?
Jamie, you disagreed with that, but I think this is the progression from Chelsea. I don't think there's 0 pressure of them winning the league, but I think with the investments they had, with the money they did, winning the Club World Cup last season, right? They should be at least within 10 points or less from the team that will win the title this season. Anything more than that,
who have they bought that have improved the team?
Here's the thing about it. It is not my fault or your fault or anyone's fault that Chelsea went and spent 90 millions on Garnacho. See the difference, Jamie? I said this should be the expectations. See, this should be the expectations. If you give any manager in the league now 90 million to improve one position, a left winger, right winger, you would definitely be up there with the best of the best in the league. If not the worst, 90 million to improve one position is basically a Semenyo and a backup winger. It is. If you
you're talking to a Liverpool fan that has spent 250 million on 2 forwards, like
I'm going to tell you the difference.
Let me relax.
Which is, if we go to Liverpool, because I wanted to ask, if I ask anyone at Liverpool, this is their analysis of the season. Even though they're 3 points behind Chelsea, we're failing, we're rubbish, right, Jamie? Am I wrong?
It's all relative to like your own expectations of where you should be. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea fans probably didn't think they should have been in a title race, so their expectations of where they are right now is probably a little bit lower than what they would expect. But like Liverpool's is a lot lower because they want to be top. You know what I mean?
As well, Liverpool, Kwess, do you? I had to quickly ask on the transfers bit, Mo. You were saying about getting signings wrong. are we insinuating that's Maresca's fault? Because in my
No, it's not. Of course not.
because watching Chelsea, I feel like the managers are having to deal with a transfer policy that doesn't involve them enough. And often they're trying to patch together those inconsistencies themselves. So I just wouldn't put all of that on Maresca. Was all point I wanted to make.
No,
It's
no,
not
I
Maresca.
do agree with
Nobody
you.
said
I do agree. But however, I know that largely signings like Garnacho were the coaching staff's their beliefs that he would be the kind of player that would fit into their system. So even if the club say to you, you can only buy from a certain group of people, you still have to look at those people and go, are they the right fit? Now, I said from the summer, I think Garnacho is the right signing for us out of the wingers we were going for, because he's got the Premier League experience and he does sort of have that little bit of bite that probably says to you, yeah, if he turns it on, and he's got the capability of doing that, he can add to our squad in terms of what we lost from the left-hand side. Because you also remember, we lost Sancho.
No, I don't know
We lost
what people
Modric.
see. I
see
would
what I'm
take Brennan
saying?
Johnson ahead of Garnacho. I swear to God.
I think,
And I'm not joking.
No.
I like Brennan
joking.
Johnson.
I'm not joking. By the way, I am not joking. I'll take
Brennan Johnson doesn't
ahead
even
of
start for Spurs.
I like him on that right wing, man.
I swear to God, I'm not saying this to rage bait. I saw Garnacho in the beginning. He had this swagger about him, the Cristiano Ronaldo. And then watching him closely play for Man United, I'm like, the guy is a very limited footballer. He's not quick. He doesn't shoot very well. He doesn't dribble. He does the step overs in his space, and he doesn't even use them to get past anybody. He can't play in tight spaces because his passing is not crisp. I don't think he's the top player in the Premier League. I don't see that. Same for Brennan Johnson, but at least Brennan Johnson is quick. It's faster than him.
Okay, I see what we're doing there.
They're both better than Gittins.
Bro, I
let's
swear
be
to
honest.
God,
Johnson, he's
fact.
available.
As
you guys,
Garnacho
I
scored
swear-
the
I
European
wanna tell you
final.
something. I think Gittins have a higher ceiling than Garnacho.
I think you're probably right, but I don't think it changed the fact that right now Gittins is not ready. And look, I don't want to turn this into
Nor
a
is
defensive
Garnacho,
Chelsea
my
show,
friend.
right? But Garnacho is
Ready.
far ahead of Gittins right now. That if you watch our games, you will see it live in the flesh. Gittins looks like he's playing for the under 15s. Like he looks out of touch completely. Not under 15. He looks like he's 15. Genuinely. And Garnacho looks like whenever we bring him on, he's the danger man. Just this last game gone, who did we lose to? Atalanta. We brought Garnacho on. He's screaming for the ball every time. Immediately, within a 5-minute span, created 2 clear-cut chances. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but that's also not why they signed him. They just signed him because you needed somebody to fit the system. So that's why I agree. I wouldn't put it on Maresca, but I would also say you've got to also pick the ones you think are going to help. And he obviously picked Garnacho. I think Garnacho's working to the level he's supposed to be.
Maybe Garnacho's more ready now. But I want to move on from Chelsea. Jamie, I know.
I haven't chatted to you yet, Mo, about it.
I know.
Popcorn
Salah in the bin.
I know that you are someone who's against Salah in this. I watch your Instagram.
That's such a bad way to represent this.
It is. You said Salah is in the wrong slot. We should back slot. You believe? You still believe in Arne Slot? Do you believe in Arne Slot or not?
I do. I still believe in Ernie.
Exactly.
What are the
guys,
very few?
Before we go to this, got about 500 people in the house. Can we get the likes up, guys, to 200? Hit the like button. Also, all the guys' channels in the description. Guys, by the way, Sal, Jim, Neil, Kwess, this is an open floor. It's not only Mo versus Jamie. Right? It's an open floor.
I want to watch this, Mo. No, I want to watch this. This is why I tuned in.
People's opinions about this. By the way, this is the news for everyone. Salah is going to be included in the Brighton squad. The news are they made up, like Salah and Arne Slot. That's what Indicala is saying. That's what the reports are saying. They kind of kissed each other and everything is good now. You know what? They're fine. They're good. And I don't know who apologized to who. But listen, I don't know. The question, should Liverpool move on from Salah? Because now the media is saying that Liverpool should move on from Salah.
Yes.
Is that a question?
Of course. Is that a question to everyone? Of course they should move on. Salah, for me,
I don't know if you're trolling or you're being serious, by the way.
I'm being deadly serious.
Idea.
And I tell you what, I'm being deadly serious.
Idea.
I tell you what, I mean, Salah can engineer whatever he wants to engineer, but we're living in a day and age of entitlement and entitled footballers. No problem. I'm a bit more old school. And what I mean by that is Mo Salah needs to look at himself first before he starts throwing shade everywhere else. I know Mo is your boy, Mo. I know you're a Salah guy. I get it. But
100%. I'm Egyptian.
he is
I'll
absolutely
defend him with my life.
categorically in the wrong in this scenario. He's come out, he's throwing Liverpool under the bus. Man's playing terrible. But for me, far too entitled to come out and I know, I get it. He might be engineering a move for himself and whatever else. Didn't he throw his toys out the pram last year because he wanted a new contract? And he kind of gets his way, right? Fine, fair play to him. But without Liverpool, the geezer's nothing. He did nothing at Chelsea. He's did nothing at any other club.
Oh, Jamie Carragher in the chat.
He owes everything. He does. He owes everything to Liverpool. And the least Mo can do is get his performances in order before he starts throwing shade at the club. No man's bigger than the club. Fact.
I agree with you, but I've had a bit when it came out on Saturday, I was fuming. I was going mad. I was like, I thought it was fake at first. Since I've had a bit of time to reflect on it, I've seen maybe a lot of the media talk about it and some of the channels and stuff. Not that I side with Salah, but listening to someone like the ex-pros, Seydorf, Henry talk about it in terms of how you manage superstars, I think they are managed in very different ways. Probably a way that we can comprehend because we look at it as a blank slate for every footballer. A footballer is there to play games, they're there to deliver. And I think that does come into it. And I don't think the way he went about it and the way he talked to the media was the right way to do it. That was wrong. And I think if they have made up, they've obviously come to an agreement where they said like maybe he's wrong or whatever it is. If he's back in the squad, so that's good. And I think from a Liverpool perspective, that's good. And at the end of the day, me as a Liverpool fan, why I was annoyed about Salah is because I want the best for Liverpool. It's not about any individual player, but at the same time, success comes from managing your superstars. And without the superstars within your team, like a Mohamed Salah, like a Virgil van Dijk, whoever it is, without managing those egos, you don't have the success as a football club that you go on to have. And yeah, I understand what you're saying, that you're saying Salah's nothing without Liverpool. And obviously Liverpool is not nothing without Salah, but Liverpool wouldn't have the success and the sustained level of enjoyment that we have had as fans without Salah either. It is give and take. And the frustration that I think he's coming from is that he feels like he's given all these years and maybe he's being maybe put down like or given a bad treatment for like the success, especially with the year that he had last year. And I think if you think about it from that side, from his perspective, I understand why he's frustrated and why he's coming out and why he's talking to media. And I think he probably will look back on it and say, I probably shouldn't have done that. That was the wrong thing to do. And it was the wrong time to say it.
Doing it. He's done this a few times. What?
Yeah.
You bench for 3 games, dude. Yeah, you're playing crap. You don't track back, and Liverpool need to stop leaking goals. That's why you've been dropped. Yeah, you don't track back because you're a luxury player. Because you are Mo Salah. Sorry, not a luxury player. You're well, they go hand in hand. You are Mo Salah. You're the great Mo Salah. But if the great Mo Salah is not in form and Liverpool are losing every other game, and you don't track back, dude, I'm really sorry to hurt your feelings. But I need to stop Liverpool bleeding, like because we're bleeding bad. So I'm going to drop you for 3 games. I don't expect you to then go out on your own and engineer an interview like that.
No, but
come on, man.
No, what he did was wrong. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm not defending Salah in the sense of like saying whatever he did was right. And he was right to be dropped. He wasn't performing. He had 1 goal in his last 11 starts for Liverpool. For a player of his quality, that's not good enough. And I think this kind of agreement between Liverpool and Salah over the years, he did used to press. He obviously hasn't pressed in the last few years because he's obviously gotten a little bit older, and Liverpool have been able to manage that. But the agreement was that if you're not going to press, then you're going to score, you're going to impact the game. And then if you're not doing that, then that agreement is not. There's no agreement. Do you know what I mean? You need to deliver. And I think, I think for a player, to try and put your player, like it's impossible, but to try and put yourself into a player's shoes where like you're the main man, you're getting all the goals, and then to take that away from someone, especially like all the trophies that he got last year, I think any player would find that difficult. And that's what I'm saying is I understand where he's coming from, and he's just like blown the lid and he's done the interview, and I think that's the wrong thing to do. And the club rightly excluded him from the squad. But at the end of the day, he shouldn't be in the team because of performances, because he's not delivering. He shouldn't have done the interview because that wasn't the right thing to do, and it put the club into jeopardy. And then the club did the right thing by not bringing him back into the fold. And if he has apologised and they have come to an agreement, then it's right to bring him back in. I don't want to see Salah leave in January. I want to see him get the send-off that he deserves for the player of his level, the player of his calibre, everything that he's done for the club. He's given me some of the best memories of my life as a Liverpool fan. But we're in the situation that we're in, and I think both sides are right now in terms of, I understand where Salah's coming from because he did the interview, but Liverpool did the right thing in taking him out of the squad and bringing him back in now. If he's apologised, can we mediate that till the end of the season, give him the send-off that he wants, and then everyone's happy?
The bit we don't know as well is how this was managed internally. Like that's why it's so hard to pinpoint. Is this Salah or is this Slot? Like from Salah's comments, he was implying that he had no idea why he was dropped and what was going on. Like he's a big boy, he's a global superstar. I'm sure he knows really why he's been dropped deep down. But for whatever reason, it sounds like the communication between him and Slot didn't work out there. And we don't know if that's because Salah's thrown a tantrum and refused to talk to him, or if Slot's dropped him without communicating why properly, and that's left him really angry. I thought his outburst the comments within it were wrong, but I did actually when I see a player do that, I think it's like any relationship in life. It's more of an issue if you get home at 3 a.m. and broke all the rules and your other half doesn't care. But if they get really mad at you, it shows they don't. You want them to be mad at you because they care.
You're in the doghouse.
Being in the doghouse actually has got a silver line that they want to protect the relationship.
They love me.
They love me. And I kind of felt like Salah's outburst wasn't a get me out of there. It was I'm really annoyed that I'm no longer part of that anymore and I want back in. And it sounds like he's been given that olive branch. But if he's got, as Neil was saying, like at the same time, he hasn't handled it well. He's put himself above a club that he's contracted to. And I don't like it when any player does that. I think the club should always, the fans should always put the club before the players within it and back their manager and the club before those individuals. But yeah, let's see what happens. I think we'll learn a lot more about it.
There's no one or the other. Get rid of them both.
Yeah.
Slots pan.
It's funny. It's funny though. It'll be interesting to see what all comes of it. Obviously, Salah's going to AFCON now, and Liverpool, since he's been out of the team, they haven't lost. So if they maybe hit a bit of form or they find something that clicks, I still think they're miles away. But if he's back in the squad, will he play against Brighton? Isak is potentially unfit. So he could start maybe in that front two with Ekitike and you play that 4-man midfield. Could he fit into that potentially, like we were saying at the start? So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see like what's going to happen next, like with Salah, with Liverpool, because I think it's almost like a turning point in terms of like a midpoint in terms of how this season has been for Liverpool. It's just like, obviously that's all happened and now they've put a little bit of a run together in terms of not losing, and conceding loads. I know Leeds was just for 70 minutes they were fine against Leeds. Then Kanate has a brain fart and they go on to concede 3 goals. But it's 20 minutes of football where they've been poor. Other than that, they've been good in most of the games where they haven't been like as easy to play against.
But Jamie, do you think that Salah's been a little bit scapegoated in regards to the results from Liverpool over the last few weeks? Because I'm looking at the results.
Neil said that. Neil is saying this. That's what Neil said.
I think he's been scapegoated because you lost games, right? And 4-1 to PSV. That's not down to Mohamed Salah. You lost to Man United because Man United were kicking the long ball and winning the second balls. That's why you lost to Man United. You didn't lose to Man United because Mohamed Salah. And I just feel like there has to be a little bit of balance here. Van Dijk has been your worst player, in my opinion, over the last few weeks.
He's been getting some slack.
The levels he's given.
Salah's making great points because Salah is actually countering the point that Salah is the reason why Liverpool, because he's not tracking back Liverpool losing him. Salah not tracking back doesn't tell Konate to fucking make mistakes like this, like he did against Mateta or go down, It's big up, Jim. Jim, you gotta go?
No, yeah, I had a hard stop at 6:30, but I was really enjoying the chat. I lost track of time.
Appreciate you, Jim. Yeah, also Spurs guys, big up, Jim.
Nice to meet you.
Neil is saying that Salah was the problem. Well, Salah didn't tell Van Dijk to just pass the ball away to the opposition and literally turn his back on. That is not tracking back. That is genuinely not tracking back.
I didn't say that.
The problem with your argument, Neil, and I hear you, Salah hasn't performed. So is the £130 million player that hasn't performed. So
but is he getting flack though? Yeah, but Wirtz has taken heat. Virgil van
First
Dijk is
is
taking
not
heat.
taking us.
There are
okay,
memes of Virgil
No,
van Dijk twerking.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
Nobody. I'm sorry.
That's hate, Mo.
What about the meme? Nobody is getting more criticism from the media like Salah since Liverpool started.
He's the best player.
That's
He gets all the praise and he gets.
And by
all
the way, which
and he
is
gets
fine.
more
I agree with
criticism.
it.
I think-
But the
I don't
manager,
think
but
both.
I don't think that Liverpool are losing because of Mohamed Salah. I think their whole front line is absolutely
Yeah, they
pants.
got holes.
Like
We-
I
we-
genuinely believe
Oh,
the
no.
creativity is not there.
Oh, Mo.
Ekitike
I
is
don't-
fine.
I don't- Up
Ekitike is the
until,
only
up
one, by the way.
until,
You know, Ekitike hasn't scored a goal or assisted in 8 consecutive games.
Hey, bro, I'll take him right now.
what?
I will take him as well. I
He
love
scored 2
Ekitike.
against Leeds.
Yeah.
Before Leeds, he hasn't scored in 8 games, Jamie. What are you doing here,
Oh,
Jamie?
okay, let's just exclude
So
2
now-
goals.
now
Yeah,
you
makes
are
sense.
thinking- and by the way, before
He's
Salah was dropped,
he's 2 in his last 2.
okay, before Salah was dropped, the game before Salah was dropped, he was 2. He has 2 goals in the last
No.
3 games.
No, he had 1 goal in his last 11 starts.
See
had
the
one-
difference how you make it. See how you make it, right? He has 1 goal, 11 starts. He scored 2 goals. I can check. It's right there in the
No,
Premier
he-
League. It's on the website.
Yeah,
I
no,
can check
he
it.
came on against Brentford.
And he
Yeah.
scored.
Yeah, I got one there.
Exactly that. See, it's all about how we say the statements. You know what I mean? Yo, he's 2 in the last game, but Ekitike, I'm not saying that Salah has performed well. Salah has been not performing well, right? And I think the interview has nothing to do with him being dropped from the team. The
I
way
don't think
he
he's been
spoke-
scapegoated.
By the way, I genuinely believe he was scapegoated, and all
No.
the media is saying that he's the reason.
No.
Neil here is falling as a victim of the media and saying that Liverpool are losing because Salah doesn't track back. He literally just said that. Neil
That's
just
not
said
the only
this.
reason. Like,
No,
they
but
got holes.
right.
That is your main
everywhere.
reason. You just
But
said
he's-
that. And I'm
he's
just going to
the
tell you
reason
something.
why
Hold on,
he
hold
got
on,
dropped.
hold on, hold on.
I'm going to
He
tell you
got
something.
dropped.
Hold
Salah
on,
is not
hold on,
playing-
hold on,
By the
hold
way,
on,
Jamie-
hold on,
Jamie-
hold on, hold on,
Jamie,
hold on. Let
Jamie.
me no,
Can I say
no.
something,
No, because
Jamie?
right, say
Can
what
I
you want to say, and then I'm going to tell you why you're wrong.
please?
Then
And
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
tell you
mute my mic. I swear to God, the people in the chat here will attest to me. I have a lot of Liverpool subscribers because of my relation with Sam and stuff like this, right? I am the one who crashed it on Salah since the beginning of the season, Jamie, and you know that. And I said that Salah, up to his standard, he's been ass. I said Salah should be dropped for Chiesa, the right wing.
Okay,
I
so then
genuinely believe-
why does he get dropped? Then? Is that he's been-
Because
it's been scapegoated?
I think this interview isn't about actually him being dropped or not dropped. It's about someone at the club not defending him. It's about your superstar not being defended in the media. It's about Jamie Carragher saying his legs is gone. It's about Paul Scholes, and no one is defending him, saying that Mohamed Salah is the worst, best player we have seen in the league. Genuinely, and nobody's defending the guy. It's
I
about
defended
that.
Salah after that. No,
It's-
no, but
You did.
Mo,
But you know what
Mo.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, I get what you mean, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think that's scapegoating him in the media. That's just criticism because he's not performing. I think scapegoating is that every single issue that Liverpool have is going down to Mo Salah, and that's not what's happened at all. He's been underperforming, and he's the only player in the team other than Kanate and Virgil van Dijk that hasn't been dropped up until he got dropped. Every other player, Szoboszlai as well, and that's because he's performing. Every underperforming player has been dropped, other than Salah, up until he got dropped for 3 games. He gets dropped for 3 games. He has a hissy fit, goes to the media, and does what he does. He hasn't been scapegoated in the media. That's not true. The games where he's been poor, we say he's been poor. But at the end of the day, I don't think many Liverpool fans have been like, "Oh, it's only Salah. He's the issue." No person has said that. You can criticize someone's performances without saying he's a scapegoat in the media. Like that too, both can be true, and that is the case with Salah because of his legacy, because of the season that he had last year. I think he actually got more leeway than most people should have. Because if someone has been performing to his level, for the levels that he has been doing, where he hasn't been defending, hasn't been contributing in attack, he would have been dropped a long time ago. Other than when he did get dropped.
Yeah,
I think that's a good point. To be fair, I think it is.
I don't think it's about the problem
Take
is
off,
you guys
take off the
keep saying-
rose tinted glasses, Mo. Take
Guys,
off
I
the
think-
crown.
okay, listen.
But Liverpool won the first 5 games of the season, so Mohamed Salah was playing. So
Yeah, that's the thing.
This is footy judge Mo. Footy judge Mo sitting at home with his crown. Egyptian king can't take the rose tinted glasses off. That's you, Mo.
I don't think you've watched enough of my content to know how I
I
genuinely
watch loads of
actually
your content. I watch loads of your
criticize
content.
Mohamed Salah. I criticize Mohamed Salah in all the time.
Yeah,
My
so you
point-
criticize him, but he's not scapegoated.
I think to say scope gated is a little bit I think I wouldn't even say too harsh. I say
Superstar,
too intense.
superstar. 250 goals, guys. He needs to be defended by the Liverpool team.
I don't think he's scapegoated, yeah, because do you know what he does? He does though. But do you know what I think it is, yeah? Like, you know, when they say, who was it? Was it Chiellini that said, "Oh, it's the history of Tottenham when they bottle it"? I think this is just the history of Liverpool. You can see some of the biggest stars play for that club. When the club is done with that player, it doesn't matter who they think they are. You're gone. And the fans will turn against you. The club will turn against you. I think that's just how it is. Maybe, yeah, with Man United. I don't know. We welcomed it with open arms, though. But I don't think Liverpool have been wrong in the way they've dealt with this, because there's no other way to deal with this.
Can I ask you something, Kwess, before you continue? Do you think Salah spoke in the media about his relation with Arne Slot that suddenly is not existent? And he's saying, he didn't say Slot wants to throw me under. He said someone at the club wants me out. This is the between the lines. We know that Slot doesn't make decisions about transfer. He's the coach of the team. Michael Edwards and Richard. I genuinely believe that when Salah was speaking to the media, he wasn't speaking about Arne Slot. He was speaking about the hierarchy. And I'm going to repeat what Hassan said. The hierarchy are not Liverpool Football Club. Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes are employees. The club is not these guys. And the club is not Salah. Salah is not Liverpool Football Club.
I can agree.
Arne Slot is not Liverpool Football Club. The board of Chelsea are not Chelsea Football Club. If someone go against Winstanley and these guys, they aren't going against Chelsea. They're going against employees of the club. So I think Salah calling out people that saying that they want me out. He doesn't mean Arne Slot, Jamie, which is something that you haven't addressed until this moment.
But
who wants Salah out?
He did say though that he hasn't got a relationship anymore.
I'll give Michael Edwards a call here. Who wants Salah out? Let me know.
Jamie, if Mohamed Salah sign a contract and they want to push him out, and they told the manager, don't talk to this guy, drop this guy. I think Salah, okay, and I'm not in the know. I'm just going about his interview.
Yeah,
he might be wrong.
You're guessing.
I'm guessing based on what he said and I'm not assuming he's right or wrong. I'm saying from his point of view, what he understood is that someone at the club wants him out. And if everyone at the company wants you out, the only outlet for you is the public. Because he's not going to go to the people that want him out to complain. Like he can't.
Technically,
you know what I mean?
He could have also said nothing.
Yeah.
That's the other flip side. He could have said nothing.
Scapegoated. He feels like he's scapegoated.
So look, I would agree that I think two things can be true. I think Mo Salah is a highly emotional guy. So I think when his feelings got hurt, he said, yo, this is not cool. This is not fair. I don't like this and I don't agree with this. And he thought, I'm going to say something. And actually, I think if had potentially Klopp still been in charge, I don't know if he would have gone to the media straight away. I think you may have heard murmurings.
What would you have done? What would you have done? Okay, Kwess, what would you feel like that the two guys that run the club now are against you? The manager, this is his point of view. By the way, but this all might be like fairy tales. This might be completely
are you asking
wrong.
Me if I'm Mo Salah, yeah? What would I do?
This might be completely wrong. That's what Salah said between the lines. Okay, let me straight. Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes are against you. They told the manager to drop you, and they told the manager, don't speak to you.
They're not saying, come on now, Mo. They're not saying that to him. There's
so
no
why would
way.
Salah say that? Why would Salah say these things?
There's no way Michael Edwards
Salah is inventing, guys. What assuming here, Salah?
You know our best player, the player that's on the most money at the club. Let's drop him and just cause him.
Salah, no. They want to sell him in January. They want to sell him in January. They want to sell him in January.
Get your tinfoil hat off. That's a conspiracy theory. Like, there's no way.
That's what he said.
No, but that's what he said in terms of he feels like the club is throwing him under the bus. But in terms of the context of what that actually means, he's left that out to the ether. We do not know what he actually means by that. That could be anything from Liverpool they don't want him anymore. That could be, I don't know. I actually don't know what else he could mean by that.
That is exactly my point, Jamie.
Yeah, but you don't know what he means by that.
Yeah, and look, I'm not gonna lie. I also feel like Mo Salah is, to be fair, he's kind of justified throwing a tantrum. I mean, realistically, he's been the top performer outside Van Dijk in that club. If there's three of them, it's Alisson, Van Dijk, and Salah that have been the top, most consistent performers over the last 5
years. Even Van Dijk is not. The reason why we all know that the goal scorers at the end get the highest praise. We know that for all the clubs.
And I think,
and that's why I think actually what Jamie Carragher said was even worse. because actually it wasn't that he was pants and Liverpool made him. That's not true. When he was playing for Basel, he was playing against Chelsea in the Champions League and he absolutely tore us to bits, and that's why Chelsea signed him in the first place. Then he went to Roma, struggled, and then really improved at Roma, and that's why Liverpool saw the metrics and bought him. So it's not actually true that he was bad. Ciao, bro. Yeah, it wasn't it was bad. So for me, I get why he had a tantrum about this. If he felt, right, I get why he did it. If he felt people were not talking to him and then trying to get him out the team. Any player, like was said before, any player of that level who believes in themselves that much would find it difficult not to say anything. Now, do I think it's right he went to the media straight away? No, because I think what we're also seeing is a flaw in Mo Salah's character, which Klopp has pointed out before, which is that when things are not going his way,
it might be. Of course, nobody's perfect at the end.
Yeah, of course.
I believe, to be honest with you, based on what I heard, his agent Rami Abad is kind of someone that isn't. The PR team around him is not the best. He kind of deals it from an Egyptian way of doing things, which is, and I said that to my friends actually. Probably it's the first time I'll say it on YouTube. I'm Egyptian. What Salah said is out of the book of Egyptian superstars. Book in Egypt in Arabic.
Mido.
There is Sam Hassan. You guys don't know these names. The guys that are like superstars in Egyptian football. When they feel the club is against them, they say the exact same words, but in Arabic. I am the son of the club. I've given everything to this club, and I've been thrown on the same exact things, right?
Could Mo be lying? Is that like a thing?
100%. Oh yeah.
Which Mo?
Do you think Mo's not a saint? 100%. I don't know the guy personally. He can be. Jamie, Mo can be fed lies and he can be lying. He can actually be inventing a story.
He might not have all the facts, but that's what I mean.
100%.
So that's exactly what I'm
saying. Yeah, I think he might have jumped the gun.
I'm not stupid. Yeah. He might be genuinely saying that someone at the club without any facts want me out. 100% that, yes.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So when we're saying, I know where you're coming from. You're obviously defending Salah and saying that. And listen, I want to defend Salah as well. But the thing is like, whatever way he went about it makes him look bad. And I don't think I know you're saying that if he couldn't turn to the club, but the reality is that at the end of the day, you have a fat contract. You're employed to the club. If you have issues with the club, you come and you have conversations with your representatives, with Liverpool's representatives, and you mediate that situation. You don't go to the media. That's never the right option. You know what I mean?
Was probably he's instructed by that, but maybe Salah was completely. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. If someone, and I'm gonna say this is my stance on this. If Salah knew that someone at the hierarchy want him out and want to ship him to Saudi Arabia, want to sell him, it's his right to go to the media, to the public. If Salah didn't have the facts and nobody at the club wanted him out, and that the information come out that he was just in his feelings because he was dropped from the team, I believe he was on the wrong to talk to the media about the club throwing me under the bus and all of the stuff, because that is not the right way to go about things. I agree with you. However, as of now, I don't see the information that he don't want to sell him. They might sell him. And are we going to prove him right or wrong? We will see in January. If the club sell him, they're going to just sell him. Let me do these super chats because Neil got called out here. Mo, to be honest, any Liverpool fan don't want to hear from the Arsenal fan who don't know anything about winners' mentality. Failure at Chelsea, he said. Mo won more at Chelsea or equal to what Arteta has won. By the way, what Neil said is just a lot of rubbish, actually. But he said that Salah is nothing without Liverpool. By the way, what makes a team successful is the team and also the players, the parts of the players around them.
Yeah.
Like Hazard made him at Chelsea. Also, Chelsea helped Hazard. It's the same. Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid and Man United both are helping each other. Without Cristiano, Real Madrid might not have won. Without Messi, okay, the only player in the history that is bigger than the club is Messi, is bigger than basically Barcelona as an institute. Alex Ferguson is basically bigger than Man United, in my opinion, as an institute. That is just my opinion. But Salah, Liverpool might not have won that. I'm going to tell you something. Facts, Neil, Liverpool would not have won the league last season without Salah. But they might have won the league with a different manager. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
I think they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand.
Probably, yes.
You need players, right? You need players performing at the end of the day, right? But the point being is if Liverpool don't give him a shot, is more my point, right? Because he hadn't done anything to earn a shot at a massive club like Liverpool. You can argue, well, he was tearing it up at Roma, or he was, he played really well.
At Basel,
he
at
really
Basel.
played at Basel. Yeah, one game against Chelsea at Stamford
No,
Bridge.
no, no. He was. Oh, that's
But
crazy.
He won the
But what
league
I'm-
at
but what I'm
Basel.
saying-
Good against
But what I'm
Spurs,
saying, well, what I'm
yeah,
saying is,
yeah.
what I'm saying is, no one was talking about. No one could foresee what Mo Salah was going to do. That's on the player. Liverpool are the team. Liverpool are the club that have to take a punt on him first for him to give him the canvas for him to paint his masterpiece on. And no one's disputing that Mo Salah hasn't painted a masterpiece over the last 8 years. What I am saying is that if Liverpool didn't give him a punt, Mo Salah's career probably never happens. Right?
Yeah, but is that not
It's
just
not like
chicken
he
and
earns
egg?
it. You don't go Chelsea, Basel, Roma, Liverpool. It's not a
No,
normal
but is that not just
trajectory.
chicken and egg?
Right.
Like he could have Barcelona,
Yeah, it is.
Barcelona or Real Madrid or anybody could have picked him up, and we may have seen him in the Champions League somewhere doing bits. Like I'm not taking anything away from Liverpool, because at the end of the day, at that time period, right, when Klopp came in, he changed everything. The culture was shifted massively from what it was under Rodgers and under all these managers before. Of course, it was like right player, right time. You couldn't have written that story.
Perfect
But you
storm.
can't take away from Salah either. You don't get an
I'm not.
audition or a gig if you can't
It
act.
could have went the other way.
Like-
It could have went the other way as well. Do you know what I mean? He could have went to, like, say, Man City, and he wins 4 Premier Leagues, the Champions League. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could go anyway. You just don't know.
He was
And
given his shot, and boy, did he take it. No one's saying that.
Mo,
No
I
one's
think
saying that.
Arsenal fans are trying to tarnish Salah's legacy because he's clearly overtaking Henry's legacy. For me, at least, Salah didn't go to Barca to make a decoy runs for Yamal and Messi.
Yamal, was the Yamal even
Yamal.
born?
Exactly. Yamal is old enough to be Thierry Henry's son.
Run around with his
Listen,
like,
I know Red Indians gunning for me. My guy, I love the comments. I would say this though, your winning mentality point. Yeah, it's not serving Liverpool too well this season. And the other thing I would say is I think Liverpool fans will tell you themselves, my man, like Henry's legacy is probably better than Sarah's legacy, as you put.
Ooh,
know. Did he ever win a
interesting.
European Cup? I don't know. Same about the Premier League's.
Premier League's best player. Let's go. Is it Salah? Is it Henry?
More
Is it
goals,
Ronaldo?
more goals, more assists. The Champions League and 2.
Are you
Premier
saying
Leagues.
Salah? Are you saying Salah's the greatest Premier League player we've
There's
ever
a
seen?
no. There's a
What?
conversation to be had, I think.
What do you the question?
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is what I
Agree.
think is funny though.
He
Yeah,
loses the conversation.
is this conversation will come back down to what Thierry Henry has won, right?
I don't think he will.
Yeah.
Or you think it will just be what based on style?
Winners, well, you'd just say Ryan Giggs or Paul Scholes, wouldn't you? If it was all came down to like the best Premier League player ever, just comes
Yeah.
down to winning. You go Scholes, you go Giggs, you'll even go KDB, but they
So
don't.
what would
They
put
go Henry.
Henry
Why
above
does everyone
Salah?
go Henry? Hey,
What would put Henry above Salah for you?
dude. What would put Henry's already above Salah?
No, but what would put him above Salah for you? Like what keeps him there?
Here's what some players. There's no disputing Salah. Salah's greatness is cemented in the Premier League. And I know Liverpool fans, I don't want you to get triggered here because I'm not putting him number one. He's in my top 4 or 5 all-time Premier League players, right? I want to throw that out there. My one thing though, yeah, is that Henry had everything. Assists and goals, you can look at the numbers, but the eye test, sometimes you need, we'd been knocked out of the Champions League by Wayne Bridge, you boys, yeah? We'd also fallen out the cup. We're now 2-1 down, I believe at Anfield, is it? Or maybe we're at home, I can't remember, to Liverpool. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. What Thierry Henry did that day, scoring a hat-trick and turning it around and made sure we finished invincible, is something that Salah can't do as well. When it comes to grabbing hold of a game, guys, and dragging your team. By the way, I'm a gooner.
Never scored a cup final.
And the next name that I'm going to say is going to shock you. But someone like Gareth Bale what he could do, what Eden Hazard could do at Chelsea is sometimes when you really need it, I would go, they're more clutch. They're more Kobe Bryant than Mo Salah. If someone
Bale,
said,
definitely.
guys, you're in trouble and I need someone to turn it around, and you look to one guy in the Premier League, I'd go Thierry Henry. I'd look at Gareth Bale. I'd look at Eden Hazard. I'd look at Luis Suarez.
So you for you.
I might even look at prime Sadio Mane. When my
Okay.
backs are really against the wall, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
This is not taken away from Salah's 250 goals. This is not taken away from his legacy. But what I am saying is horses for courses. When I need a guy to show up, Salah goes missing more than those guys. Those guys can drag a team in bad times and
Salah
put them
has
over the line.
Salah's the
And
second
in
most GA
championship-
against all the top 6 teams in the Premier League. He scored in the
Look what
European
I've
final. Henry has
All
it.
of this,
You
by
can-
the way,
you can
Neil,
make
all
it
of
a
this is
numbers
just,
game.
I know
Yeah.
you're in
No,
your
but
feelings.
you're saying
I
impact.
know,
You're saying
Neil,
take the game by the scruff of the neck.
I know you're that you're in your
Isn't it?
feelings. I know that. The difference between your argument and Jamie's argument, for example, Jamie responded to you, but just one fact. You're saying in big moments, right? Jamie said, Salah has the most GA against Big Six. These are big games. This is what wins you titles. This is what wins you big games. The number
Henry never
two.
scored in the final. for Arsenal.
I would
Forget
argue.
the final thing. Forget the final thing.
Yeah, we're talking Premier League.
That Liverpool run, when Salah came to the Premier League and broke the record, people forgot that Salah had 6 GA in a Champions League semi-final, one man of the match, home and away. People
Salah has done it in
forget-
the big games. He has done it in big games.
Exactly. People forget that against Man City, Salah actually has schooled them plenty of times, right? These are big games, right? These are massive games. People forget that Salah scored. People forgot that the biggest game in English football is Manchester United versus Liverpool, and Salah is a top scorer at Old Trafford. This is a big game.
The only
Not
player-
big games
the only player
against
to score
against the
hat-trick.
poor
Don't
United team is what I
forget
would
these
say. But here's the
I'm
thing:
not
I would
saying
ask,
that
I would
Henry-
ask Jamie. You can ask the
Yeah.
Liverpool fan, right? Like, because
Yeah.
here's the thing: you can say he
Ridiculous.
scored it. No one's saying Salah won't score in big games. We're talking the top echelons. We're talking the elite of the elite here. So when we are fine combing through here, we're talking through very, very fine hairs, aren't we? We're still saying
Yeah.
Salah's top 4, top 5 Premier League all time. Think how many players have played in the Premier League, and I'm saying Mo Salah's top 5 all time. Don't get it twisted, guys. I'm not the one in my feelings here. I think it's you guys. What I would say, Mo, there's no discounting. Mo Salah's scored big goals in big games against big clubs. What I'm saying, though, is that when your back's massively against the wall in the Premier League game, and it doesn't have to be against Man City,
you will
it
go
doesn't
to
have
Salah,
to be.
yeah, but because that's what Liverpool did with Man United.
I'd go to Thierry
Yeah,
Henry, I'd go
100%.
to-
I'm not
I
discounting
think,
that.
I think
no,
he
no,
goes to both.
no,
I
I
think it
go
comes
to Thierry Henry. I like Thierry
But
Henry. Listen, as a
Mane,
player, I
I
like
would
Thierry
argue,
Henry more.
scored bigger
Hold on.
goals
The
in
difference,
2020.
the difference is the difference. I like Thierry Henry more than Mohamed Salah, even though I'm Egyptian. I would put Thierry Henry above Mohamed Salah. The problem with you is that you want to put Mane, Suarez, everyone else. You want to
I'm not
put
putting him above
Longstaff ahead
Salah.
of him. You know,
No, no, no,
I know
no.
you want to put Darren
Clutch
Fletcher.
of clutch.
I know what
Clutch
you're
of clutch.
talking about. I know what people do. You want to put everyone in the world against ahead of Mohamed Salah, which is fine.
No, I
You know
don't.
what? You want to
Stuff
put
is
Jordan
crazy.
Henderson ahead of him. You know, we know,
I would
bro. I've
never
been
put
there.
Jordan
I've been on
Henderson
YouTube
ahead
for
of
4
him.
years.
It's
I've
terrible.
lived all these debates. You want to have everyone. You want to have your cousin ahead of him. It doesn't. It's okay. You played Sunday League. You got. It's fine.
Mo,
We're not
who's
saying
in their
that,
feelings?
you
Is it
know,
me or
that's-
you?
You are.
No, look,
Because
I love
if
Salah.
someone here
I know-
is
I
gonna
love
tell
Salah.
me Luis
I love
Suarez's
Salah.
career in the Premier League is bigger than Mohamed Salah. You lost the
I love
argument.
Salah.
It does.
Salah's
love-
not even the biggest Egyptian in the Premier League. It's really close.
I love Salah. I love Salah. Just I think when it comes to clutch of clutch, there are some guys. Eden Hazard. Oh man, that guy, clutch of clutch. If I really,
Do you know what? Do you know
There
what I
are
think? A lot of it comes down with to Salah is aesthetics.
Crazy.
Is aesthetics. I think a lot of it, like a lot of people don't like how Salah looks on the eye. I think Henry, he was just like I do agree with you. I think it's just when you look at Henry, when you look at Hazard, the way they picked up the ball, Bale was the same.
Yes,
Like they,
look at
they
the
made
goals,
something.
bro.
They made something moving
Exactly.
you, and I
Salah
understand
scored
that aspect.
magnificent goals.
I think,
Wow.
yeah, but I think
through supply,
I think-
through supply.
yeah,
you did.
if you were to ask Liverpool fans,
On his
the
own as
reasons
well,
probably
though.
they probably back him a lot more is because Liverpool have those moments as fans, the goals, the assists. They celebrate their moments. They feel their moments a lot more. So I think that's why you would probably lean towards Salah in that instance. And he obviously has everything else to back it up. But listen, it's like at the end of the day, it's an opinion. You know what I mean? It comes down to like I absolutely loved Henry. That goal, that hat-trick against Liverpool was one of my first memories. And I remember saying to my dad, I go, how can a player be so good at football?
Yeah, man.
Like that's
Yeah,
like
the context of it as well. It's like you're
Let me-
2-1 down, and he comes beyond the halfway
Let-
line to pick it up in his own half and start it and go, guys, we need to do something here. And I'm not saying, listen, by the way, if Trent is arrowing a ball into the box and it's going to Salah, I'll take Salah probably ahead of all of those guys. Maybe
Neil, I think you're I think you're actually saying something that is completely not true. Salah
Tell me.
scored tons of goals on his own, as Kwess just said. tons of
I'm-
goals when he
I'm just
received the
thinking
ball from
Everton
I
in the snow.
250 goals. He
like-
scored 250 goals. He scored.
He
plenty
scored
on his,
tons
on his
of
own.
goals
Of
on
course.
his own.
There's a tap in
Tons.
merchant.
That's what people
No
want.
one's saying
You know
that.
what? That's what you want to say. That's what you
No,
want to say.
I'm going to say that.
It was only a
what you
question,
wanted.
guys.
Van Nistelrooy is a tap-in merchant. Even
It's
he
not a
had the
tap-
goal from the
Van
halfway
Nistelrooy was
line, right?
fantastic.
Van
This is a
Nistelrooy.
lot of crap. AMT said, but Virgil van Dijk defending
But
has
I gotta
been
bounce,
more
boys. I gotta
good.
bounce.
Yeah,
See you
I'm
later.
just gonna
Take it
finish
easy.
decent. And
Nice one,
I'm
Jamie.
just gonna finish decent. Just get out of here. Virgil van Dijk has been more worse. Probably you're right, AMT. Mo and Osam are CEOs of Salah Defense League, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. You think I'm wrong? I'm proud of this. By the way, Dio, you're absolutely fraudulent and disingenuous because Henry at 33, at Salah at 33, their whole career, no one is saying whole career. We're saying his career. You know what? You are like, you said all clubs, all wins. Henry wins hand in hand. Henry World Cup, Euro 2000, Champions League with Barcelona, Premier League. I'm going to tell you something, Dayo. You're literally like the guy that is bragging about his neighbor's wife. He won with France. He won with Barcelona. Bro, this is literally this, by the way. My guy, you know what? I got a neighbor that got a really hot wife. You know, she's fantastic. She's smoking hot. You know, Dayo, we're talking about Henry at Arsenal versus Salah at Liverpool. And the reason why I'm saying this, Dayo, sorry for the joke and everything, you get, I'm joking. It's him winning with France is great and fantastic. However, in the same time, it is not Giggs' fault that he was born in Wales. It's not Bale's fault that he was born in Wales. It's not Salah's fault that he's born Egyptian. And also him going to Barca is actually, and you bragging about the Barca win, that has nothing to do with his time at Arsenal. It has nothing to do. So if Salah left Liverpool and went to Real Madrid and won multiple Champions League, it has nothing to do with his legacy at Liverpool. I always say that. Your legacy at a club is different than your legacy at a different club. That's why I believe Cristiano Ronaldo's legacy at Real Madrid is a completely different stage than
Otherwise,
his legacy at Man
Ronaldo would
United.
be the greatest Premier League player ever, wouldn't he? No one would dispute Cristiano Ronaldo would be. The reason why it's an argument is because he left the Premier League.
Yes.
So, yeah, I agree with you.
And that's why, for me, in the Premier League, even though Ronaldo won Ballon d'Or at Man United, he won a three-peat at Man United, he won the Champions League, but because he left and his legacy at Real Madrid, Henry takes it for me. My opinion. You said ask a Liverpool fan. I'm a Liverpool fan, but you never said why Henry cracked under pressure. Why did he go to Barca to get a Champions League? Why couldn't he hack it at Arsenal? Salah won us the title after 20 years and he won a Champions League. And I think Salah is the one actually took Liverpool to a Champions League final as well. I thought he was fantastic. And also people that say that Henry didn't have a team, Arsenal had a phenomenal team. Had a phenomenal team.
When he left us. I mean, he single-handedly did take us to the Champions League final. There's no,
and
we
Salah
played 10
single-handed
men behind the ball.
If you're going to say that, Salah
and
single-handedly
one player.
took Liverpool to the Champions League final. You remember that? I'm telling you, in a
I don't know
semi-final.
about single-handedly, but I would say this. I think Salah's run
The first year when they lost to Real Madrid, literally, he was the catalyst of that Liverpool team when he broke the record in the Champions League. Like
that
he broke
team
the
was insane, man. You're talking about Fabinho. You're talking about Wijnaldum.
There wasn't
he's talking about
a team that before he won
team.
against Spurs.
Right.
The team
Okay,
team that lost to Liverpool when he got injured. The team that lost
Bale
to Liverpool.
bicycle kick. Okay, valid. I
The
hear
problem
you.
with that
that
run,
is the
though,
team.
Mo, is that everyone remembers that run. Everyone remembers Salah in that run for just getting destroyed by Ramos and then carried off injured. It's
Because
unfortunate.
you cannot do anything
unfortunate,
about a dirty player that is known exactly. I played football. I know exactly why Ramos did it, bro. Ramos knew exactly what he's doing. Dragging someone, having their arms and putting it under you when you're falling down. You're breaking their shoulder. You know exactly what he was doing. But listen, I want to thank everyone that joined us, guys. If you set your notifications, this is a fixed show every Friday at 5:30. It's a fantastic show, of course, with the guys Frenemies podcast, Jamie's story. We're joined by Kwess today. Are you gonna be tomorrow? You said it's too late. We'll talk after.
Yeah. It's the work, bro. Work is kicking my behind, man.
Work on a Sunday,
Bro, I work 7 days a week, bro.
All bro.
It's crazy. When I'm done in a week, then I've got work to do for the next week, and the only time is the weekend, bro. So
Hustle.
I barely make any of these.
I love it.
Yeah.
Man.
Great. I want to appreciate everyone. Jamie's story, the football story, and all the guys. Also, Spurs Jim loves Jim as well. In the description as well. All the guys are there. Hit the like button, people. I don't know. Okay, let me just redirect to someone before I end it. To someone. Here comes Dio. As a player, Henry is better than Salah. I didn't disagree with that. In the Premier League, Henry went unbeaten. Ask Salah to do that. Ask Henry to break the record twice.
Neil won, you
Break
know.
the GA record. Okay, Dio. GA record and the goal record. Okay. Ask Henry to do this. By the way, ask Henry to do this. That is the reality that people don't want to talk about. Redirect as well. Thank you, Dio, for the support. Appreciate you. You didn't have to do that, Dio. You know that, right? Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone. This will take it to Osam. Big up the panel. Fantastic show. We're out of here, people.